Hi there, my name is Cudabear. I've been playing RuneScape on and off for about 16 years now. During that time I've had lots of different kinds of restricted accounts, but I've never played an unrestricted main since 2011. That will change today. My goal is to build my new account to endgame content as fast as possible via routing and macro efficiency. Are you ready to jump in? Let's continue with Macroefficient main. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Macroefficient main. I have a very clear goal in this episode, and that's that I want to go ahead and finally complete Void Range. If we go ahead and check the points that I've got so far, I'm up to 450. You need 850 points for the full set. So that said, I'm just over halfway there. Now, one of the main problems with me playing pest control right now is I'm stuck on the novice boat. It's not terrible, but it can really sometimes be slow. In addition, you only get 3 points instead of 4 for the intermediary boat, which is literally 33% more. So what I'm going to try to do is push my way up to 70 combat, and I'm going to try to do that by completing a couple of quests. There are 3 quests I have in mind that will really help me push my defense level up, and that should be the key to getting 70 combat. So I will show you which quests those are as we go into the episode today. But first we've got a big boy tree run. Let's do it. All right, let's go ahead and check the trees. 7,000 experience per tree, 55 farming, and I should be up to 56 farming from this. Oh man, I love checking the teak trees. Such a great start. Also, because I'm over 55 farming, I'm also able to plant mahogany trees, so I'll be doing those instead of teak trees. Unless you're going to be using the teak trees for chopping, there's really no reason not to do mahogany. They're literally twice the experience, and it winds up being 45,000 experience every 3 days. Definitely worth it. There is, however, one other thing I really want to get going here before we actually jump into getting 70 combat, and that's to start farm runs. So I bought some seeds here. I bought some Renar seeds and some toadflax seeds. Looking at the combined cost of these seeds, it's just under 500k, and this will service 10 farm runs for me as I only have access to 5 patches. So we'll see how much profit we can make off of these. You might be wondering why I've only got 10 Renar seeds and 40 toadflax seeds, and there's a big reason for that. At low level farming, the cost of Renar seeds is actually so prohibitive because they have a pretty decent chance of dying, and your yield is not going to be that great. So generally speaking, at my farming level, toadflax seeds provide a bigger profit because the seeds are so much cheaper. However, I did go ahead and still buy 10 Renar seeds, as I will plant these in the disease-free patch I have in Hosidius, because if you factor in the fact that there's no chance of them dying there, they do give a bigger profit still. All right, let me gear up here and I will show you how I do my farm run. They are incredibly fast. Alright, so it's been just under 5 minutes and I'm all done. I'll be able to greatly speed up this portion of the run as well with some medium diary unlocks, as well as a Xerix talisman, so whenever I get those in the future I can definitely speed it up. But overall I used 4 toadflax seeds and 1 Renar seed for a grand total of just under 50,000 in cost. You can see that I came away with 131k. So I made 80k of profit in about 5 minutes. If you do the math, that's about 1.6 million an hour in terms of efficiency. But definitely do your herb runs. Generally speaking, I like to do herb runs and birdhouse runs side by side. Technically, the birdhouses are available to be done a lot more rapidly than the herb runs, but I find it easier just to sync up on those as part of my routine and not worry about getting every available run in. Plus, you don't have to leave your activity very often then. All right, now that all that is done, I think that finally concludes everything that I need to be doing as part of a routine / daily activity. I hope you can keep up with it. In summary, we've got birdhouses, we've got daily tree runs, we've got herb runs as well. So now we can finally jump in with the first quest I want to do today, and that's actually going to be Dragon Slayer. So I seriously messed up by starting this quest early on. If you don't start this quest and don't claim the anti-dragon shield from the Duke of Lumbridge, you can actually never be assigned dragons for a Slayer task, and that can definitely speed up the early game Slayer training a little bit. So that was a big mistake on my part. However, the nice thing about having started it is now there's no reason not to complete it and get the free defense and strength levels from it. Overall, I bet it won't cost me too much time in regards to Slayer. I'll just be doing all the dragon tasks at baby dragons, which are pretty fast, thankfully. that's the end of Dragon Slayer, which gets us up to 40 defense, which is actually really nice because now we can finally equip Dragonhide bodies and get rid of the snakeskin body. So I'll go ahead and do that. And the combat level increases got us up to 57 combat from that. All right, now we're gonna go, oh, sorry, actually 59. It didn't click off in time. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and do the Monkey Madness quest. So let's do that. Oh, this is so incredibly dumb. I walked up the wrong side of the ladder, so now I can't go back down. And I can't get out because these guys have got me perfectly cornered and they block pathing. And I can't kill them because they heal faster than I can deal damage. So I'm going to have to teleport out and try to come back. Oh, man. Wait, maybe I can get him? Don't heal? Don't heal, please? One time. One time. One time. Just one time, please. No! Wait, what? I don't know how I did that. Somehow I walked by him. Okay, I'll take it. Alright, there's the end of Apatol. Very classic quest, very fun to do. Except for when you get trapped between two monkey guards and you don't know a way out until the game apparently just glitches and lets you leave. Of course, the real reward for this quest comes from talking to Darrow here, as he gives us a massive 110,000 experience boost. I'm going to focus on attack and defense to maximize my combat level gain from this. And boom, up to 61 combat from that, 46 defense, 51 HP. Awesome. Alright, so one thing I need is I had to stop here and get all of this Initiate armor, which has a nice, massive 17 prayer boost associated with it. Then we'll need a couple of upgrades, which I purchased from the Grand Exchange. I did go ahead and get that Unholy Page set, as I think it'll be pretty useful for what we're about to do. And then, of course, I need to get the Granite Hammer, because as you can tell, we're going to be training some melee. And I can't believe how cheap this thing is now. It's so cheap for a 4-tick meta 50 attack weapon for training. Go ahead and use all the pages on my book here, and now it'll give me +8 attack bonus as well as a +5 prayer bonus. So altogether, this is what we look like. I do need 50 strength for the Granite Hammer, so I will be using a Rune Scimitar just up to 50 strength, but it should be pretty quick because I'm already up to 46. And of course, here we are at the Nightmare Zone, which is where I'm going to be training my melee stats. Now, this might seem like a huge pivot from what I've been aiming for, but the honest truth is, because the goal is to get a quest point keep, there is a quest called Dream Mentor that has an 85 quest point requirement. So I'm going to have to be aiming to get my combat level up to 85 anyway, and just doing ranged alone is not going to be a very fast or effective way to get there. Training defense with ranged is very slow. It is pretty quick with magic, but it's also very expensive. So I figured in order to get some more Nightmare Zone points, this is probably a pretty good place to be. And getting up to 70 combat now will save me a little bit of time on the Void grind, which I think is worthwhile. It's also pretty AFK, which is pretty nice because I am looking to take a little bit of a break with this account and just kind of chill out for a while. You could argue that this is better done at Ammonite Crabs, as you'll be able to get passive fossils to be used for experience rewards, but I have alternate plans to gain my fossils over the course of this account, so I'd rather take the more AFK option. That gives me a little bit of progress in terms of Nightmare Zone points, which are obviously invaluable for imbues later on down the road. One other cool thing is that I finally got over 50 hit points as a result of the quests I've done, which allows me to use overloads while I'm in here, so I'll be using those as well. I'm not going to be doing the absorption version yet, because I don't think I can quite sustain the points to get absorption pots, because it is extremely slow for me to gain points for now. So even though it's pretty expensive, I'm going to be sticking with the prayer method for now. So all that said, I will be in here for a while. I'm going to be aiming to get my strength up to probably around 60, and then I'll get 60 attack, 60 defense, and then we should hopefully be 70 combat. All right, all you beautiful fine people, I will see you in however many hours. So after this, I wound up taking a decent break from this account, and it took me about 2 weeks to get all the way up to 70 combat. In the interim, I had a couple of streams where the clan and I got together and played some Barbarian Assault. If you guys weren't aware, I stream every Thursday evening at 8:15 CST. If you're interested in hanging out, definitely check it out. Also, a couple weeks ago, we formed a clan called Cubbyhole. If you're interested in joining a clan in-game, definitely check that out as well. We've been doing some clan events, including BA, which you see here. And thanks to the clan, I was able to go ahead and unlock the Fighter's Torso as part of this process on this account. I don't think the Fighter's Torso is an explicit requirement for this Macroefficient series on its own, but it's definitely a handy unlock to have in the long run, so I'm glad to have it. Just one more quick herb update. I did actually go ahead and finish all 10 of my herb runs, and as you can see, I profited almost 650k. If you consider the fact that it only took me about 5 minutes per herb run, realistically I made about 700k an hour for those, which is not terrible, but it's also not amazing. It'll go up more as I'm able to get more herb yield per seed, as well as having more patches and faster routes to those patches. But it's definitely worth it to do your herb runs as you can, as it's a great passive moneymaker, and of course the farming experience is also pretty decent. It does add up. So here I am back in the nightmare zone again. I'm all the way up to 55 attack and 55 strength, and now I'm working on defense, as defense should be the fastest way to bridge the gap between the 67 combat I'm at and the 70 combat that's my goal. But I was actually brainstorming. I'm not sure if I took the best approach here in terms of getting up combat levels. It's really tricky to get combat levels up at this stage of the game, as you really do need melee levels to get there, and it's extremely slow to bridge the gap between right about where all of the early game melee experience giving quests leave you. It's like upper 40s, low 50s, and all the way up to about the mid to upper 60s, where Slayer starts becoming a very effective way to train up your melee stats. At the stage where I'm at, the Slayer experience is so slow that the melee experience just comes in at a crawl, and it's 100% not worth it to do either at this stage. So I was thinking through about all of the things that I could get that are ulterior goals that would give me passive melee experience, and unfortunately there's not really any. I've already been using pest control to train up my ranged, and it's been really slow. I'm not entirely sure it's been worth it at all to do before 70, unfortunately, so really I don't know if that's a good bet. The only other thing I could really think is you could kill ammonite crabs in order to get fossils, so that you can turn those in for experience lamps later, but for me it honestly doesn't make a big difference, as way down the road on this account I'll probably be doing Solstep cutting for the woodcutting experience I need for Grimtails anyway, so I'll be getting some fossils then, and in the very long road I'll be doing most of my woodcutting experience to get the fossils there anyway. Kind of why I've been sitting in Nightmare Zone. Not only is it extremely AFK, I'm also getting points that I can use later for imbues. It'll be really nice to have those in advance, but at the same time the points are so slow. The one nice thing about being here is using overloads. I've been able to maintain about 40 to 45,000 experience an hour, which is actually really good. So it's not too bad. The only downside is that it is extremely expensive. Every hour I spend in here, I'm spending probably a couple 100k on prayer potions. It's just not great. So all that said, let me know what you think. Do you have any other better ideas about how to bridge this awkward gap between the low 40s, low 50s up to 60 melees? I feel like after you hit the low to mid 60s, things really start picking up, as you can do things like the Defender grind and Slayer that really just make your melee experience flow passively. But here it's just kind of awkward AFK time, and it just doesn't seem to be any better any other way. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, and I will see you hopefully at 70 combat. I missed the level, but that was actually 57 attack, which puts us up to 70 combat, so we can finally move on back to the void grind. Alright, there's 60 attack. I went ahead and wrapped it up here at pest control because I was so close and it felt worthwhile, as now I can equip dragon, so I went ahead and got it done. I'm just a couple of games away from void now, so I'm going to go ahead and finish it up, and I'll see you then. Alright, that's a huge game that I just finished there, as that'll be all of the pest points that we need for full void. Let's go ahead and pick it up. Alright, let's buy the top, the bottom, the gloves, and finally, the ranger helm. There we go. We have full void complete, and this will be what carries us through the quest point camp and maybe even further. I am incredibly happy to have this knocked out of the way so early. This is such a powerful unlock for the account. Alright, so this will probably come as a bit of a surprise, but I'm actually going to go ahead and attempt a fire cape next. It's really the last big piece of gear that I need for this account and this series, and I want to go ahead and challenge myself and get it done early rather than later. I've never done a fire cape with stats this low, which really isn't even that low, I'm sure, for some of you. So it'll be a unique challenge for me, and I'm excited to try it out now that I have Void. The only difference is I went and bought a Fury, as it gives much better defense than the Glory, and I also bought Amethyst arrows to maximize my DPS while in the cave. Alright, here we go. Wish me luck.
It's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life for us.
Alright, here we go for attempt number 2. I liked my chances so much last time that I brought an extra range pot because obviously I missed a bunch of flicks and it would probably be worthwhile to bring food. But I think with the added defense of the shield helping with the rangers, it should be enough. So I'm going to jump in and give it another try. So I'm approximately where I was on the first run, and I'm on almost wave 59, but I'm doing much better on supplies, as you can see. I also didn't realize that anglerfish don't heal you for the full amount if you're lower HP. Like, I'm at 60 HP, so I only get healed like 11 or 12 for an anglerfish, so that's unfortunate. But overall, it's going really well, and as you can see, I'm not even flicking Prey Mage anymore, because I don't really need to. I've got plenty of prayer left. Let's get this fire cape. There we go. We got the fire cape. Took over 2 hours. Definitely my slowest fire cape I've ever gotten. I'm also pretty sure I got chanced by Jad at least 3 times, but I managed to get hit zeros every time. I'm surprised how nervous I still get at Jad, but this is actually my first fire cape I've ever done below like 100 combat. I'm pretty sure every other single one I've done has been above that. And also, I think it's the first one I've ever done on the main OSRS game. Every other one I've done was pre-EOC or on limited game modes. But we finally have accomplished the fire cape, which will be an amazing melee unlock. And I'm so happy to have it. It was definitely cutting it close, just 2 prey pots left and 1 Saradomin brew. I'm glad I brought the extra brews because I could not figure out the healer lure. I almost had it, and then I seriously messed it up near the end, which was really frustrating. I'm going to go ahead and resell the Fury, as I need the money more than the Fury. The Fury is really good, but it's also not necessarily mandatory for range training. All you really get out of it over the Glory for ranged is the defense, which is not a big deal to me. So of course, everyone has contributed so much to the Wizard Mind Bomb stack already, and it continues to grow. Everyone has just been so generous in the clan and on the channel. I am just entirely grateful to see this project continue to go, and it is entirely driven by all of your generous support. So thank you so much. As you can see, we are officially over the 1/2 million stack. We've got 502,000 Wizard's Mind Bombs. That is just absolutely ridiculous. If I put this in the price checker as well, you can see that these are up to 136 each. When we started this collection, they were, I think, 50 or 60 each. So this is definitely having an impact on the value of the item, which is just so ridiculous to me. Lastly, we are up to over 15 million in the community cash pile, so look out in the coming weeks. I will be scheduling some sort of clan/channel event on a live stream for cash prizes, so keep an eye out for that. That should be a lot of fun. So of course, this episode has had more progress than I think any episode before it, and our time played will show that. We're up to 3 days and 21 hours of playtime, which is about a 34-hour increase over the last episode. That means that I've spent probably about a third of my total time on this account in this single episode, but it was a lot of grinds getting combat up in order to get the Void, getting the Fighter's Torso, and getting the Fire Cape that I just didn't want to split into multiple episodes. So we have all of them out of the way now. Those are all 3 of the really big gear grinds that we needed to do that we had no other way around but just to grind it out. So all that said, I am super excited for the next episode. We're going to get back to questing. We're going to go all the way to Barrow's Gloves. Let's go ahead and get it done. I will see you then.